Financial relations between center and state. Federal setup is an optimal form of government. It combines unitary strength as well as a decentralized form of government. Essence of federalism lies in proper division of powers and functions among various levels of government. It ensures adequate financial resources at each level. In a federation, both developed and underdeveloped, federating units remain within a federation due to unified market facility, security, and financial cooperation. In India, federalism was evolved under the British regime, Lord Mayo Financial Resolution of 1871 to a three-tier form of federation. Evolution of center-states relations. The present federal system is in existence since the late 18th century. Government of India Act 1919 was a major breakthrough in the history of evolution of federalism in India. Government of India Act 1935 established a clear-cut demarcation of subjects coming under the center, states and both. With the independence, the federal status of India underwent fundamental change. Clear division of financial powers and expenditure between central and state governments in the 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution. The undivided Indian National Congress under Nehru, that is from 1947 to 1966, in the first 2 decades, led to a strong central leadership controlling the Indian Federation. The center-state relations were simply a reflection of relations between the state branches of the Congress Party and its central leadership. However, over the last 60 years, many changes have been incorporated in the Indian Federation through different constitutional amendments, changes in criteria for devolution of resources, etc. The most important aspect of federalism is the division of resources and functions between different levels of governments. Though intergovernmental transfers take place to reduce imbalances and provide average level of public services, there does exist imbalances and regional disparities. Transfers from center to states take place through 3 channels: Union Finance Commission (UFC), Planning Commission (PC), and central ministries, of which the transfers from FC are predominant. Gross devolution and transfers (GDT) comprises of states' share in central taxes (SCT), grants in aid, and gross loans from center. Tax sharing is based on the general criteria like population, geography, backwardness, poverty ratio, inverse per capita income, distance formula, revenue gap, etc. The dependence of states on central transfers varies depending on the capacity of the states to generate own resources. For high-income states, it varies from 1/4 to 1/6 of their revenues. For middle-income states, between 1/3 to 1/5, except for Chhattisgarh and West Bengal, where dependency is much higher, almost 40 to 50%, and for low-income states, it is quite high, ranging from 42 to 80%. Haryana is the least dependent state on central transfers, followed by Punjab, Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Goa. Issues between center and states. 1991 economic reforms increased the responsibility of the states in meeting the basic services for the people. Center has become stronger and states are burdened with greater functional responsibilities. As a result, inequality across the states and within the states has increased. The Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act, FRBMA, directs states to bring in discipline in the management of public finances and has added pressure, particularly in improving productive assets of the poorer states. Assistance from the center is based on Gadgil formula, being updated since 90s. The formula takes population, per capita income, tax efforts, and special problems into account. Present fund allocation criteria has helped states with differential fiscal and administrative capabilities. Decentralization issues. Following the 73rd and 74th Amendments to the Constitution, India has become a 3-tier multi-level federalism. Along with central and state governments, India has 2.5 lakh local governments comprising over 3 million elected representatives, which makes India the largest democratic and federal country. Compared to other countries in the world, India stands at a lower end of the spectrum with the share of local governments at only 5.1% of total public sector expenditure. On the other hand, Brazil has got 15%, OECD 20 to 30%. In fact, this share has declined by over 20% in the last 5 years, that is from 6.4% in 1998-99. The Constitution spells out the task to the State Fiscal Commission SFCs to provide recommendations for the PRI institutions, both urban and rural, so that the consolidated fund can be augmented accordingly. However, it appears that most SFCs do not take their instrumental role seriously in helping to provide the said services. The 13th UFC has made a significant change in the devolution of resources to the third tier by assigning a share of the divisible tax revenue. This share is on an average 1.93% of the divisible pool of taxes for the period 2010-15. The trend of central transfers to few states in 2007-8, Andhra Pradesh 51.8%, Assam 87%, Bihar 90.7%, Madhya Pradesh 65%, Orissa 71.6%, Tamil Nadu 39.4% and West Bengal 47.8%. As can be seen, Bihar tops the list and Tamil Nadu the least. The southern states in general have smaller share. Regional disparity. There is a wide variance in the provision of basic services like education, medical and other infrastructural facilities, leading to discrepancies in major socio-economic indicators like literacy rate, infant mortality rate, poverty ratio and life expectancy, etc. In general, low-income states such as Madhya Pradesh, Orissa, Uttar Pradesh, Assam and Rajasthan have infant mortality rates. Similar is the case of life expectancy and maternal mortality rate. A few states were able to attract investment, both domestic and foreign, and do better due to market reforms as well as their fiscal abilities to provide incentives and other utilities during post-reforms period. Moreover, substantial changes in sectoral origin of income without appropriate redistribution of population has created inequality. India is currently in the first phase, the phase of increasing income inequality. Therefore, the role of central transfers to states is very important for ensuring provision of public services at a similar rate of taxation. It seems that the central transfers or center-states financial relations has not been very successful in fulfilling the main objective, that is, to ensure equal provision of public services across subnational government by reducing fiscal imbalances. Now let's talk about the 13th Financial Commission. With the increasing inequality and requirement for fiscal discipline and macroeconomic stability, the scope of the 13th Union Finance Commission was much wider than any of the preceding Union Finance Commissions. Besides the usual tax devolution and grants to fill the gaps, it recommended several other grants for local bodies, grants dealing with environmental and non-environmental issues, and also design and implementation of the GST. It has placed the centre and more so the states in a multitude of conditions to macro-manage their fiscal system. The horizontal distribution of this transfer is categorized as area 10%, population 25%, fiscal capacity 47.5% and index of fiscal discipline 17.5%. Deviating from the past UFCs, 13th UFC estimate entitlements based on fiscal capacity accords the factor a weight of 47.55 of the total estimation. This approach does not solve the issues regarding the earlier gap-filling approach, and in fact has both conceptual and methodical glitches. Further, the 13th UFC report and recommendations were criticized. The 13th UFC has recommended different fiscal adjustment paths for Kerala, Punjab and West Bengal, which are states with high fiscal deficits. Among the 11 special category states, different fiscal adjustments have been suggested for Jammu and Kashmir, Manipur, Nagaland, Sikkim, Uttarakhand and Mizoram. The 13th UFC base year for estimating fiscal discipline path is selective, which is not fair and subjective in nature. Rao 2010 for reference. 14th Finance Commission. The role of 14th UFC is mandated with more burdensome responsibilities in fiscal, economic and social areas. The 14th UFC suggests measures to raise tax ratios of both centre and states, improve performance of public sector enterprises, tackle challenges in ecology, environment and climate change. It also amends the FRBMA, keeping in view its shortcomings. The 14th Union Finance Commission raises inequality in government spending across states. It also took action towards fiscal autonomy, which was eroded over the years by implementation of fiscal consolidation path since the 10th Union Finance Commission. We conclude by saying that overall, though efforts have been made towards a full-fledged federation, India continues to have greater vertical fiscal imbalances at different levels of governments and horizontal fiscal imbalance across the levels of governments.